Introducing the fantastic tales of Merryweather and Perryweather, where every month we produce new and totally free digital stories to add to any reading repertoire. Click the link or go to maryperrystories.com to get story time from your phone.
The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying and don't agree with their views or opinions, don't watch the show. We can promise we do not care. Welcome to the worst show on the internet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MLO Bros. We are. Did you guys check out our new sponsor?
we go live from a kid's book to, hey, we're gonna piss you off, so don't be mad at us.
Well, yeah, how we got a children's book, The Fantastic Tales of Merryweather and Perryweather, to be our sponsor for the month of January. Nobody knows. Also, our other main sponsor of the month is Valley Insurance. But thank you for joining us, everyone. And Luke, who's your guest you invited?
Jason from Poland. Jason Tarr from Poland. He is well, you do all kinds of stuff, but you're here tonight because of couples therapy, which I saw last year with Maggie. Now, Maggie made me go. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jason. It was one of those things where you're going.
That's the way we do it.
Huh?
That's the way we do it.
It is the way we do it. She's like, you're going, because that is totally not me. Like, we went to the Youngstown Playhouse, and for those of you who know me and those of you who know my wife, it was like you're coming with us. We went with our neighbors. Don't whine. Shut your face, Luke. And I was like, yes, ma'am. This, it was one of those where I didn't even argue. And I ended up really enjoying it. I thought it was hysterical. And then again, I had no idea you had written it. And then out walks Jason, and I'm like, Maggie, that's Jason. I know him. And she's like, you're a dumbass. It's like, I didn't even know it was him.
You knew him from before.
Yeah, because his daughter's Lucas's age. And like coaching and stuff. I was like, oh my God, that's
so insensitive.
Yeah. And Maggie's like, I told you. Again, it was like that. But then that in summary, like the whole conversation between Maggie and I is literally a great example of the play of the women couples therapy. It's awesome.
We can talk about your history and all that stuff, but tell the people what is this show? What should they be expecting?
Yeah, this is a great so my background is theater and stand-up.
Okay.
I think I started in the theater when I was like 7 or 8.
Where are you from originally?
Boardman.
So you went to Boardman. So you're from around town.
Yeah.
And so did you go to college?
Yeah. I went to several. The ones that count are Akron, Ohio State, small stint at USC, and Coastal Carolina that don't exist.
Oh, nice.
Anywhere.
Okay, cool.
Those are the fun schools where you go surfing all day.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
I should have been studying.
So you did comedy stuff there?
I did. So I started stand up here when I was in high school at the Funny Farm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the Funny Farm?
No.
That was before you.
Where was the Funny Farm?
It was
Back then, it was at the Holiday Inn Metroplex. Back when the Holiday Inn was big,
Yeah.
They had choices in the front.
Mhm.
I think it was something before that, but it was
It
a
was a
pretty
while,
big nightclub back then. They had choices in the front, Funny Farm in the back,
Yeah.
and then on the other side of the hotel, they had the Metroplex where Dave, the owner, would do bigger shows.
Yeah.
So he brought in like some Saturday Night Live people, and we had Carrot Top there, and that.
Wow.
You don't remember the Funny Farm song?
No.
The Funny Farm Comedy Club.
Yeah, AC McCall.
You don't. Yeah,
I
see,
know,
that's
see,
that's got to be before your time.
No.
He's still doing it. It's downtown, and
Yeah, because I've heard Funny Farms.
Yeah.
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 So downtown.
It's like
now?
over 30 years. That
So
guy.
you did stand up?
Yeah. Yeah.
No kid, I didn't
when I
know
was
that.
when I was a junior in high school, which was 1992.
Okay.
Wow.
I first took the stage at the Funny Farm, which was extremely rare. So this was the days when the big club comics were Seinfeld and Paul Reiser and Roseanne and that era. You didn't see 17-year-olds on stage.
Yeah.
Now years later, Dane Cook, Chris Rock came
Yeah.
out. Now you go to a comedy club, 9 out of the 10 comics are probably in their 20s.
Okay.
So it's very rare. And that's, when you're in showbiz, that's what people look for. They don't care about you personally. It's just like, are you marketable? Can I make money off you?
Yeah.
So people quickly gravitated and found me. And after I graduated high school, I was out in LA, did a couple
Holy
sitcoms
cow.
and pilots. Nothing ever made it big.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Were you writing or were you acting with those?
It was all stand up and acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
awesome. That's kind of
That's a big
crazy,
deal.
right? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
The day after I graduated, I packed up my, it was a 1988 Z24 Cavalier and drove from Boardman to Los Angeles.
How the heck? See, I had no idea. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
How like this? So the stand up, did you have like a routine? Like, how do you produce a stand up? Like in the mirror kind of stuff, or like?
No. Well, sometimes there's a lot of rehearsal involved, so the best comics will make you think like they're making it up. So take this for example. If you've ever been to a comedy show or seen one on Netflix, and the comic laughs, they don't laugh because they think their own stuff is funny. They laugh because it's endearing to the crowd and it elicits a response. And that's why comedians have often made the best actors, because your whole skit on stage is an act.
Right. You're not really acting.
Yeah.
You're not really laughing.
And you write, you have your, like you said, you have your gig and your bits, and then you put them all together, but then you're going from like room to room. So you start at like a room where you're like trying to piece everything together, and the guests who are going to that show understand you're like, not just this isn't well-rounded perfect act. This is like just me trying to work on it. And then you go to bigger room and you like go home, write more, piece it together, and then you go.
So you work through it then?
Yeah. It's a learning process. I mean, when I first started, I did a lot of impersonations and just like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I was 17. I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
But then throughout time, you start to learn what your style is. So my style was very much real life. What happened to me? So all of my stories, for the most part, are things that I really experienced. And then throughout life, as you experience more, your material grows.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, there's all different kinds. Like there's abstract comics, like Adam Sandler's a big one.
Okay.
He just makes crap off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Right.
It'd be like writing a sci-fi novel.
Right.
Like,
right.
I can't think of that.
More
stuff.
like storytelling kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I tell stories, but it's all about, real life stuff.
Makes sense.
Wow. That happens.
Wow. All right. And then what did you, so then you went from stand up to writing?
Yeah. So I still say 15 years. It's probably 17. Because my stories don't change.
Yeah. Right.
So I have always loved both stand up and the theater for different reasons. So stand up is just, very energetic, it's no holds barred. There's no script, so I love that, you could say one thing and then totally talk about another topic without having to have a story in between or transitions, versus the theater, which is an experience, like if you're getting ready to go to a comedy club and then the next night you're getting ready to go to a theater, it's two completely mindsets in your head. So I wanted to take the exhilaration of stand-up and bring it to the theater, which is elegant, and that's where the idea for couples therapy came, which is largely based on my material. It took a long time because I wasn't a writer, so I had to learn how to format a story, build characters, and then as well as, just trying to find the right partner to produce it.
Right.
At one point there was a theater in Cleveland I was working with, fell through. There was a theater in Canton that fell through. And then I met Dr. John. There's a plug for Wee Ones.
Yeah.
I met Dr. John through a mutual friend. And, he is also the head of the Playhouse. He's the head of the Playhouse board.
I didn't know that. Now, who's Dr. John? Dr. John is the guy in...
Yeah, he plays Dr. Allen. So
okay.
It's a two-person play. There's a man and a woman, Dr. Allen and Dr. Julie, and they play a married couple therapists that put you through a seminar.
Okay.
So
John,
they're up on stage giving you through this, explaining the differences between men and women.
Okay.
So I have some clips. I don't know. Well, let's keep going a little bit before we show the clips.
Yeah.
And we'll show a couple clips that
So without ruining anything, I'm trying to what should people expect?
Yeah, it's so it is a pure blend of stand-up and theater. which you don't see as much still even today. So if you're in the theater business, there's a phrase called breaking the fourth wall. Also in TV, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Great example of breaking the fourth wall.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yes.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
When they turn to the camera and they're talking to you out there, that's breaking the fourth wall. Doesn't happen that often in theater. So that is the real big difference, as I'm sure you experienced.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is treated for all purposes like a seminar. Like if you go to any seminar, whoever's on stage, 1 person, 2 people, 10 people, they're talking to you, the audience. So throughout the entire show, there's a lot of engagement. It starts right when you walk in. There's an audience response card where we ask a couple questions about men and women, and that gets built into the show. So every show, there's pieces that are different based on what the audiences write down on the cards.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. It's it's a great blend between stand up and theater.
Interesting.
You would like it. It is again. It's men versus women. It's the way men think and the way women think is the best way to describe it. And it is
in a fun way.
In a fun way.
So we talk about that up front. It is not so. There have been a lot of plays that have done this kind of material, but I would say like 90% or more is geared to men bashing.
Yes.
Like men are stupid and they're idiots and they can't think, So no, this is a very even, playful, experience on both sides. And that's the difference. So there's another big play that is famous. It's just a one-man play. So all they do is talk about bashing men. There's a man and a woman, and they both equally share the differences in the sexes.
It's pretty good.
In a very fun way.
Absolutely.
Why don't you play one of the clips? Let's go to one of the clips. And again, before we play a clip, if you're watching now, this is Couples Therapy.
Tavern 26 chili dogs. I don't understand why he's saying Tavern 26.
And then he said good people when we were talking about we were talking about your two actors.
Oh, yeah.
Before
which one? This one or this one?
Let's go. Okay, hold on 1 second. So again, we're talking about, for those of you watching, Couples Therapy, February 10th and 11th. You can buy your tickets at the Youngstown Playhouse. It's a great date night. Yep. Like I said, Maggie and I lost the 3 kids that night, and we went out. It was a good time. So let's play the one with the girl first in the top. So
22 of the 23 pairs of chromosomes between us are identical. It is that 23rd set that makes all the difference. For example, if your 23rd set is an X, you stay a girl. A Y, you become a boy. Right? In fact, there's only about 78 genes within the Y chromosome that's separated from the X chromosome. See, those 78 genes may seem so small. But they make all the difference.
I mean, those two are perfect together. Like, they make you wonder if they're really married or not. Like, that's how good they act together.
So my wife Sherry, she sat in the audience with her mom.
Yeah.
And at one point, the mother-in-law for me, she looked at Sherry and said, "So they're married, right?" And
yes.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's exactly what we.
Yeah.
Want.
100%. And she's really, really good. So. And then you want to play his now, Isaac? So this is the guy.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah, women and their questions. You always ask me that last one. Where are you going? Oh, time. I think that she was abandoned as a child. Now it's some inherent fear. Because every time I leave her side, she asks, where are you going? Every time. We're on the couch watching TV. I get up, where are you going? We're out to dinner having a good meal. I stand up and leave. She goes, where are you going? Middle of the night, I get up. She goes, where are you going? I'm like, look, it's 3 a.m. I'm in my underwear. I'm going to gas up the truck and make a Walmart run. You want something?
But they go back and forth like that, like explaining stuff. And it's not just like the person talking, it's also the opposite's reaction that make it good too. Like, you can see her standing there, like looking at the crowd. It's entertaining.
Yeah, there were people afterwards who said, "Man, like we sat down next to total strangers."
Yes.
So it's a 90-minute, no intermission play, and they were like, by the end of the show, we were like best friends.
Yes.
Like everybody was elbowing and I do that too.
Exactly.
It's a really cool show. We were again like the typical theater, you go see Jersey Boys, you're not making buddies. To your left and right. You're just sitting there, you're enjoying the play, and then you're leaving. So it's a totally different experience. So hopefully everybody comes to check
So
it out.
you're behind the scenes making sure everything's flowing correctly, right? Is that what you're doing?
Are you sitting are you behind are you sitting
Are you-
backstage or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm actually in that clip. I am. That would be stage right because you go by the actors.
Yeah.
That's
So
left.
so I'm just to John's right behind that male brain, those racks.
Okay.
So I am the main set is a PowerPoint, which is very much like a seminar format. If you go to see a seminar, they have a screen and they got a PowerPoint. So that's our main set. So I'm doing all the PowerPoint. I'm doing a lot of the cues. We have a wonderful sound and lights team there, so they're doing that stuff. But yes, I'm there keeping everything on track. It's an extremely easy show. This isn't a Broadway show.
Yeah, right.
So we don't need stage managers and
What-
production assistants. But
What was it like? So you write this thing.
Yeah.
You get it set up. How do you get it to the Youngstown Playhouse? Like, how does that happen? So it's like you have this great idea, you get it on a piece of paper. Like, how does it?
Yeah, because it's not like a book where you can read. Oh, that's good. It's like you have to be like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, and then what do you like? Act it out in front of them?
Yeah,
Like, how do people act-
like you call them and like, hey,
So
I got
that
an
would-
idea.
That
Like,
would
how-
be your typical route. So originally I had.
you have to have connections, right? You have to
Yeah.
know somebody.
Sometimes. So originally I was in with the Great Lakes Theater in Cleveland, and then I was also in with the Players Guild in Canton, and I followed a very traditional format. A lot of theaters have a submission process where like a couple times a year they'll pick a brand new play, and they'll workshop it. So
What does that mean?
it means you might not ever get to a full-blown production.
Okay.
Like a limited audience might come in, and you'll act out portions of it. But the artistic director is left. So here, actually in softball,
Okay.
Mark Zupo, who was he
Zupo.
yeah,
I know that name, right?
yeah, he had a grand Matt and Mark Zupo. They had a kid who was on the softball team.
Okay.
And we happened to be talking, and I just brought it up. We were BSing with each other, and I was like, yeah, I wrote this play, but it's not really going anywhere. And that's where he was like, wait a minute. He's like, my friend John is the head of the Playhouse.
Isn't that see?
Wow.
So he
dude?
connected
man.
It
Yeah.
is always.
He connected us. I sent the script to John, and he immediately called me, and he's like, I love it, and I want to do it. John's been in like over 50 productions, and he said, and by the way, I've got the perfect person for the female role, Brandy, who she's been over like 60 productions.
So that's John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
that's-
Brandy's like, wow.
Yeah.
Just like that. And boom, picked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. So the next thing we knew, we originally had plans in 2020.
Okay.
COVID delayed it.
Of course.
And then we had another date. And then as the Playhouse came out of COVID, it kept getting pushed because they had contracts already signed.
Okay.
So we ended up being the first show on the main stage this year in 2022. And it was their fastest sellout ever.
Wow,
In history,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
Dude, it was
Very
packed.
impressive.
It was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
last year.
couldn't have fit. There
Was it one night?
Yeah. We did one night only because my philosophy, I mean, first off, it had never been done.
Yeah.
So we didn't know, what kind of draw it was going to have. But I also figured let's just try to pack one night instead of spreading it out and doing like 2 or 3 half sold nights.
Yeah.
But we had people up on the balcony, which they really don't use.
Yeah.
Because you have to. It's not a good way to get up to the balcony there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool.
So you're on 2 nights this time.
Yeah.
Are you doing other places too? Did I see that?
Yeah. So we have a touring production, which is me and John and Brandy going on the road.
Okay.
So that's like if Jersey Boys comes to town.
Yeah.
That's a touring production.
Okay.
They bring everything, they rent the theater, and they do it. So we have a couple of those dates. In fact, the weekend immediately following the Playhouse will be in Columbus.
I saw that. Okay.
And then I'm also licensing it. So that means other theaters like the Playhouse community theaters just pay a royalty to produce it themselves. So
And
we
they can
that-
have their own actors and
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's going on down in Youngstown. That's going on down in Florida. We have a couple dates down in Florida.
Wow.
And there's about 3 or 4 other theaters that we're trying to
They
do
just picked it up.
contracts. Yeah.
So did you sell it to them or did they
Yeah.
contact you?
Yeah. No. That was hard old school sales.
You were just calling.
Cold called him. Hey,
Cold call.
here's
Got
my
to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding. Good
That's
for
what-
you.
When I first started comedy, these were the VHS days.
Yeah.
So when I first started stand up, you had to have a tape, a reel,
Yeah.
and you literally put them in the big vanilla envelopes. You called up comedy clubs, you got the connection, you got the address, phone number, you shipped them the tape, and then you called them back. Like, did you watch it? Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
So did you
yeah.
open for anybody of significance when you were out there in LA or wherever you were?
Well, LA
Or did you meet anybody crazy?
Yeah. So LA and New York are different. Like every night it's famous people in the clubs there. So, I mean, you could pick a night. In fact, my very first night, I took the set list from the Laugh Factory, which is one of the big clubs out there. And it was me. Now, this is back in like 95, remember? It was like me, John Witherspoon, Kim Waynes, Damon Waynes.
Wow.
So like that was a typical night. Like Dane Cook would be up every night, or Seinfeld, depending on the club. Typically you get in with one club. Like if you're at the Comedy Store, that's Joe Rogan's place.
Yeah.
So like almost every other night, Joe Rogan's probably popping in there. So it just depends where you are. But yeah, I toured with Carrot Top for a couple years. Jeff Dunham off and on. I've toured with him.
Jeff Dunham. That's
for a while.
Right?
That's sweet.
Yeah. D.O. Hughley's another
very
one.
Cool. Yeah. And then what year did you say you started writing then?
It was about 15 some years ago.
Yeah.
I started writing couples therapy.
Did you feel like you pulled some of your act over into the show, or how did that work? Like just off, how did the writing of this go?
Yeah. So I would say 80% is my act.
Yeah.
So like that bit that you just watched John do, that literally, like I probably have that on YouTube, me doing it. Back in the 90s. So most of the act is based on my stand-up, but there is what I would consider some pure theater spots in there.
Yeah.
So right away up front, there's a courtroom scene, where the two kind of change characters.
I remember that. Right. Yeah.
And I won't give it away because it's one of the best things I think I've written.
Yeah.
So it's a play on A Few Good Men, but it's a courtroom scene. There's another one where they're driving a car. So those
funny too.
Those pure acting
funny
scenes, like wouldn't fit stand up, and that's where the blend comes in.
Yeah.
So even all the material that Brandy does as the female, was stuff that I did on stage, but it comes out so much better when a woman does it. So.
Yeah, no, that's if I ever did stand up, I would just roast my wife, like go up there and just everything that from the complaints to the
and I could do
things that just don't make
kids,
sense,
like the kids,
Yeah.
and absolutely, I mean, it's so funny.
Ask me to do something, then me doing it, not doing it good enough, or like the correct way, like that's all it would be, because that's all I got.
That's all I got. So when I'm curious though, so you went off. Again, this is personal stuff. So you go off, do that, say, okay, what do you do for a jobby job though? So like real job now.
Couch surfing?
Yeah, no. So I've been in finance for quite some time. I had a fascination with the markets growing up. So I wanted to understand how they worked, like why a stock went up, why it went down, why the heck you would even buy one. So I learned pretty quickly. This was actually from Jeff Dunham. So this would have been his first wife. He has 3 daughters with that one. We were on the road quite a bit. I came back in the green room. It was right around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and he was crying back there before his show. And I went in and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff." And no, it's okay. And he's like, it's just another holiday with me away from the girls.
Oh, wow.
Because that's how he makes his money. Jeff, who he actually is the highest grossing comedian for the last like 5 or 6 years. Typically 100,000 a show.
Jeff Dunham is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He holds the top 10 records on Comedy Central, in terms of specials.
I believe. Oh yeah, because he had like the remember he had the holiday special, the Christmas special. I do remember that.
Yeah,
okay,
that's how he makes his money.
Wow.
Yeah. So the guy's never going to get a sitcom. He's not going to get movies.
Yeah.
He's got to be on the road.
Right.
And that's what people don't think. Like even bands. I mean, you could Bruce Springsteen. That's how he makes his money.
Yeah. Right.
Like he can't just sit in
Right.
Jersey.
Yeah.
You
Not
don't
do
make
anything. Right.
you don't make any money on the albums. You make it on the road.
Right.
So pretty early on, when I didn't have any bills, I saw what it could be like. Like that could be me.
Crying down the right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I had a backup plan. So I got a couple degrees in finance.
Yeah.
And got into investment banking. So that's the day job.
Wow.
And it pays the bills for the fun stuff, kind of like John. John would tell you the same thing. Like John has one of the best practices in town. He's a pediatrician.
Yeah.
But his love is the theater.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
So
it's interesting because you see success in that. It's like the well-roundedness of the career like that, but it's like similar to us in a way because we're loan officers by day. And then this is like what we do for fun.
I do this. I like this.
And in our way to help and give back to the community. So it's like, it is two things.
This is almost like a hobby at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean
there's no money to be made here. Like anything we do make goes back to the community.
It's some kind of sick hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's all about connections, though. It's all the amount of people we've met from this and the networking we've been able to do from this is what's worth it.
And we
It's
didn't
not
even
necessarily monetary.
we
value.
didn't even
It's
think
just
of that when
knowing
we
people.
did this.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's
just
unbelievable.
knowing people.
Yeah, it's unbelievable
Yeah.
the amount of people.
And there's no telling where you could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It-
I mean,
it-
this could have easily been a one and done one night at the Playhouse.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
But I decided that there needed to be something more.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
so
crazy.
yeah, you never know where things can take you.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said, the fun part is like when you look at it, it's like you talk to the one person at a game, and then all of a sudden, boom, it
Yeah.
like steamrolls like that. Like it's supposed to happen.
So can
and then-
you? So you have it being performed in Florida, right? By random actors. They just picked it up, right?
So take the Playhouse as an example.
Yeah.
So the Playhouse is in the business what would be called an amateur theater.
Yeah.
I personally don't like that term.
Yeah.
But so you have professional theaters, and that's like the Civics in the States and the Palace.
Okay.
And then you have community theaters, which are considered amateur because they're not professional, quote unquote. And that's why
Yeah.
I don't like that term.
Yeah.
What does
So
that even
when
mean?
the Playhouse does a show, like they just did the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not Disney coming to town and doing the Hunchback. That is John and the Playhouse buying
Local.
the rights
Right.
for the script, and
Yeah.
then they have to do everything. And that's why I love community theater. So they had to build a set. You know, they had to figure out what do we even want to build,
Yeah.
and find the people to do it. They had to hire the actors. They had to, get their own director. And like literally all they get is the script, and they have to interpret
Do
that
everything.
and put
Yeah.
the show on.
Wow.
Or like when, I remember being a little kid and going down to Youngstown and watching like Beauty and the Beast. My mom and dad took us to the
Correct.
Playhouse
Yep.
to see Beauty
Right.
and the Beast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
so-
set fell down. That was crazy.
So
The
that's-
set fell up?
It felt like it was the Beauty and the Beast. The castle was like in the middle, and the set would rotate, like circle around
Yeah.
to different
Like
sides
scenes?
of this scene.
It fell?
But then there was a big arch that went over to the top of the set, and this thing would spin. The corner of the thing that would
Got
spin
caught?
caught on the archway.
Oh no.
And it was turning, and then the top archway was about to like fall over into
the people like come running
into the
over.
people, and like all these guys, all the like set people came out and like were grabbing the arches,
my-
like,
Hey.
like it's gonna fall, and like all the people on the first like 4 rows started like clearing out.
Oh my
Like,
Lord.
it was wild, dude.
And
It
that's-
was
and that's why I still love theater.
Right.
If this was television, it'd be cut.
Yeah, right.
They would
Yeah.
come in, clean it up, and take a new take.
Wow.
But theater, I mean, yeah, you never know what the hell's gonna happen.
but the
Wow.
actors did a very good job.
Yeah.
The guy that he was Jack Frost in the Christmas play in downtown for
Yeah.
the longest time. He was Pierre the candle.
candle.
Guy. So like after they get done with their song, after that happens in like the middle of or like right before a song. So then that happens, they fix it, and then they have their song, and then they end the song, and the guy that's playing Pierre comes out on stage and says, "Wow, that was such a great song, everyone. It really brought the house down." And everybody just lost it. It was very well. It was very good.
That would probably be our guess then.
Yes,
That's like
Yeah.
that's the big number.
Nice.
yeah.
You know,
Nice.
other than the
So
closing tune, but yeah.
yeah, it was wild, but yeah,
Wow.
that's
Cool.
Wow. So now, do you ever act or anything like that, or do you just direct? Like, do you do acting or anything?
Yeah, I did a bunch of theater growing up.
Okay.
Did some little things out in LA, like the nothing big. But this was one I always knew from the start that I did not want to be the male role in it.
Yeah.
So ideally I would have been in the audience. That
Mhm.
was the worst part of it was I was stuck behind the
Why didn't you
curtain.
want to do the male part?
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it, and I wanted to experience it.
Fair.
Yeah.
And it was all my material. So it would have basically just been like me continuing my stand-up.
yeah.
Okay.
But ideally I would have been in the audience, but I was stuck back there with the MacBook, which was actually my daughter's MacBook.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a personal computer.
Yeah.
So I was stuck back there with the MacBook, and I kept trying. There's a couple. We taped the whole show. That's where the clips come from.
Yeah.
There's a couple parts where if you watch closely, you can see my head because I kept trying to peek out to see the audience reaction because you could hear it and feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that was always my dream, was to sit back and watch it.
That's
being
cool.
done. So yeah.
Isaac, you should go. You gonna be an actor ever? You want to do a
No,
play?
I did a lot of back in Christmas pageants.
Like third grade.
At my church growing up. I killed it. I actually had the local school like guy that ran the plays come up to me and said, "Isaac, we can work around your basketball schedule if you want to
They
join."
wanted
the
you to
play."
do it.
Wanted me to
Hey.
join the play because I could sing.
Yeah.
I was gonna do.
got
I was
it.
Santa in 3rd grade.
Were you?
And my beard fell off.
I was the zookeeper in the Holiday Jubilee in 3rd grade.
I think they're holding auditions for Rent. They always need
For
new
Rent?
faces. They
So
always
Rent-
need new
That's-
faces.
Isn't that right?
Is that right? I don't know if we can do singing one. I can't. The singing might be tough.
If John's watching, he's going to be impressed that I just threw in
Rent.
that little nugget there for Rent. Rent
I
auditions.
do
are
Jesus
going
Christ
right now.
Superstar.
We could totally do
I could sing all of Jesus Christ
Our
Superstar.
parents took us to the
All these
theater
plays.
to watch Jesus Christ Superstar, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast.
My mom was worried about me being a meathead football player,
yes,
which didn't help at all. But she made me go into drama club. So literally, I have seen everything.
Yeah.
Like we went to Toronto to see Phantom.
Oh, they have a beautiful Broadway.
Yep. Miss Saigon.
And you can drink when you're 18.
Yes, and we did.
There's a plug for
Yep.
Toronto.
Yeah,
I don't know if
exactly. I
anybody-
mean, so like literally, you name it.
yeah.
I think I've seen it. Like,
Well,
and it hit you too.
She when she always said she was growing up, she always said, if I ever have kids, I'm not going to let them be jocks. And then she had a bunch of jocks. So what it was okay, if they're going to play sports and they're going to be good at sports, I want them to be well-rounded and understand that there's more than just being a stupid meathead.
That's cool.
So she took us everywhere.
Yeah.
all
I mean,
different kinds
you
of
name it,
plays.
we've seen
Yeah.
it. So it's funny. It's
See,
like
my parents never did that. Like I didn't have a background. Like my parents didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't stop me. You know, when
Right.
when their kid said, "Hey, I graduated. I'm moving to LA."
they let you go.
you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, they never.
Oh yeah.
And it forced us to be in like the church choir and
Oh yeah.
the plays and oh gosh.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
great.
I really like. I was in the drama club. Now I was never in the play because I played all the sports.
Yeah.
But I
that's the
was in the
thing.
drama club, so we went to things. But I just did the drama club because like all the girls were in it.
Yeah.
So I was just always good.
Classic meathead infiltration.
It's such a
drama club.
meathead
Yeah.
move, isn't it? Go
Yeah.
to drama club just to be with all the girls is terrible.
Uh,
My mama did too. See?
Frank says my mom did too.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's good stuff.
So, couples therapy, February 10th and 11th coming up here. Maybe I'll get Shelby and we'll go see it.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's you want to go on a double date?
Didn't you already see it?
Hey, we have a lot of people coming back.
I'll go back
Return
and see it
return
again.
grab?
I'll
Yeah,
go
let's do
back
it. Let's
again.
set it up.
They
Let's
have
go.
booze.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of There'll be a donations bar.
Okay.
So it's a Playhouse nonprofit, so they don't charge. It's a donations bar.
Okay.
This year we're going to have multiple bars. Anybody who was there last year might remember the long line through the lobby. So get there an hour
It was
before.
packed. It was all. Let me not say all. It was 90% Poland people.
Just coming out to support. That's really cool.
It was. I mean, it was
Well-
packed with Poland people.
So Friday and Saturday? Is that a Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, we're doing 2 nights this time. And Stanball's already renewed it for 2024. We're holding a date. So
Good.
we're going to keep running it. And as long as people keep showing up.
It was. You guys will like it. Shelby would like it.
So let's say this thing blows up, right? So you like we were talking about earlier. You got it. People picked it up in Florida. What if people across the United States pick it up? Are you going to then write something else? Do you have anything else in the
Are you
works?
working on something else?
Are you?
I'm already working on a musical.
Do you need us to act?
Do you need
us
any
singers?
people like? Yeah,
We
I
will.
was gonna
We
say.
will. We will.
Force him to put me in this.
Force
So
him.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. That's so cool.
Yeah, I've had a couple other ideas. So what was funny was like people immediately were like, "So what's next?"
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like you just write and it's a one and done, and then you trash, the show. And I was like, "Well, this is next." Like I want couples therapy to do
To-
more than just Youngstown.
Yeah, explode. Right.
So but I have had a couple of ideas in my head, and the next step for me would be a musical. So something totally, this one was based on my stand-up. It was extremely hard for me because I don't have a writing background.
Right.
I didn't have that kind of training. But the musical would be something totally different
Topic.
that I have to.
Would there be comedy
Can
involved?
you tell us a topic?
I can't yet, only because it's a jukebox musical. So
What
which
does that mean?
a jukebox musical means that the music already exists. So that would be like Jersey Boys,
Okay.
versus take.
You're not writing music then.
No. I would have to get the license rights for somebody else.
Right. He has to do
Versus Hamilton, which those songs did not exist. So Lin-Manuel wrote those songs
Yeah.
Right.
when he was writing Hamilton. So that's why they call it a jukebox musical because it's somebody else's song.
How'd you feel about Hamilton, by the way? Did you like it?
I
Let me
So-
give my opinion. I thought it was overrated.
I hated it. I hated it.
Overrated.
Hated it.
So I'll say
Hated it. Hated it.
I appreciate all theater, just like comics.
Yeah.
Just like comics. So I appreciate all comics, and I usually try to find some like the reason why.
Yeah.
The idea was brilliant.
Yes.
You know,
I
what
agree.
if Hamilton was a black man?
Yeah.
Awesome idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
From there, yes, there were pieces that like kind of lost me. But entertainment wise, and I also appreciate the set could not have been more simple. I mean, this is an enormous Broadway show, ended up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And they never even changed the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was one set for the whole time. So to be able to keep the audience like in that mindset without changing scenery, you know, is really tough to do.
Did not like the music.
Could not get into it. And like, I love that type of music, but like, I don't know. I feel like when I watch something like a Broadway musical, it's different. It's like I go to a different place and I just wasn't expecting that. Maybe if I watched it more, I'd get
the one I liked was the Jesus Christ Superstar with what's his name that was on TV. It was just on TV like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
With the dude.
they redid it.
It wasn't in the
TV.
theater.
It was Alice Cooper was King Herod.
Yeah.
You know which one?
I didn't watch that, but
it was good.
Yeah.
I forget what's the name of the guy. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Is watching right now.
I loved I've never even seen Wicked, and I want to see it.
Wicked's
I love
amazing.
all the music.
That's another one. That's another
all
one.
the music.
Great story.
Yeah.
So
Don't like the music.
So the Wicked Witch was not wicked. Like that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Actually, the good witch was the bad one.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So again, like to come up with that idea and that mindset to
and
me,
then she turns bad. Defying gravity. If you want her to be bad, she'll be bad.
No,
she
you
turned
never
into
saw it. She was good the whole time. The Wicked Witch was good.
Yeah, but that's what she like flew away and said, like, I'll be the.
You didn't see it.
Have you the lyrics of that song?
Yeah.
So if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free.
Yeah,
to those who ground me, take a message back from me.
Have to, before you comment on it, you have to watch it.
Defy gravity.
It is a good
That's
show.
what she says.
You have
Great.
to watch it.
It is a good show.
What is that guy's
And
name?
Hamilton's in Cleveland right now, so I'll throw that plug out. If
There you
anybody
go,
wants to see
Hamilton.
Hamilton's
I'm
in
trying to think
Cleveland.
other ones that are good that I like. Do you ever see Miss Saigon?
No,
it's a great one. I don't even think they play that anymore.
One of the songs in The Lion King
Made you cry?
That was a good one too.
No, there's a song in it I like more than the movie, and they kept it out of the movie, and then they put it in Lion King 2 because
really
it was on Broadway. It was so good. They put it in Lion King 2.
Scar's
awesome.
Pride. What was the name of the Lion King 2?
Simba's Pride. It was horrible. It was not very good, but
You rooted for Scar. You rooted for Scar.
no, it was it was just a play on. It was pretty bad. It was just a play on race. Like, it was bad. It was not good.
That's another one though. So like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
In most theaters, some don't have the ability, but in the beginning of Lion King, they come from the back down through the aisles with all the animals.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Like the elephants.
You know,
yeah,
that's what I love. Things that you're not expecting.
Awesome.
Because you're sitting there staring at and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're like, whoa, there's an elephant next to me.
Well, that's like.
Elephants and giraffes,
Did
and
you
just
see
guys with
Phantom
belts.
in
Phantoms.
I saw it in Toronto.
in Toronto when the
couple times.
chandelier comes like flying down? Same
Yeah.
concept. We
Yeah,
were
old
like, what is
Pantages
going
Theater.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Miss Saigon. I think that was in Toronto. They had a
Yeah.
helicopter. I mean, there was so much stuff.
We saw
going on.
Phantom in Toronto, I think. Mom and Dad. Phantom, and then The Lion
I
King.
was
in
with
Toronto
you when
as
you
well.
saw it. Yeah, you were younger, and
Yeah.
the chandelier comes crashing down. I mean, it is cool stuff.
Yep.
So I'm excited. This is good. This is.
I'm
I'm
excited for the musical now that you're gonna.
Do you need
So
like?
is there gonna be comedy in it at all, or no? It's totally. Are we allowed to talk about that? Sorry.
No. So it's a biography. So it's a jukebox musical about this individual, this singer,
Okay.
who just has a really cool life. So part of the story is already written, you know. So I've just got to take it and transcribe it into a show.
The lead singer of Maroon 5.
Okay.
No,
It's,
I would not
The
do that.
lead singer.
I would not do that.
Okay.
I was so high, I could not recognize. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, wait. Our parts of his musical. Okay.
Yes.
The guy is just we're just the background guys, like behind him.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the guys
Yeah.
in West Side Story.
He does not want us anywhere near.
Just like this. We were just dancing behind him. That's all we need to do. Security.
People it could be.
Jukebox.
Because he's gonna take songs. Somebody
The
popular
Who.
by a group
The Who. There's already a show about that. The Who.
Is it what's his name?
Elvis.
No, the Queen.
No,
Queen.
It's already,
it's already been done. It's already been done.
Okay, wait. The
already
Who.
been done.
No, already been done.
already
Okay,
been
about a guy playing a jukebox.
Elton John.
It's already been done.
Man, all right, you guys are
Dang
so
it.
bad.
My first, I can't tell you the first idea because it's already scrapped. Was Buffett, and then he ended up producing his own play. But my play was going to be about his life. He produced a play, Escape to Margaritaville, that just incorporates his song. So it's a totally different story.
Using his songs.
Set to the music. Mine was about his life. The guy's actually had an amazing life.
Heck yeah.
And, most of his songs were all written back in the 70s that are hits now. And you wouldn't even realize, like take Margaritaville.
Daryl Hall.
No.
Dude, Hole and Oates would be amazing.
I would know every word to every song. If you needed a guy.
That would be a good one. He wrote Margaritaville off of a little dive bar in Texas when he was waiting for a flight. So it has nothing to do with anything like tropical, or any beach or anything like that. Cheeseburger in Paradise has nothing to do about a cheeseburger. You know, it was something that a friend made a comment to him, like he said, "Jimmy, you're like a cheeseburger in paradise." And that's where the song idea popped in his head, and he wrote it in like 2 minutes.
Maybe it's farther back. Like, I don't know, like really far back. Like Jesus.
Already done. Already done.
Good story. It's a good story.
Good story.
He's like a superstar.
Further back.
How would I get the rights to that? Is Mary still around? Is she? I don't know who owns the rights to that.
What about like Joseph and like a dream coat? Right, like Joseph
In Technicolor.
And how
like a Technicolor dream
how
coat.
he loves his coat of many colors.
In Technicolor.
Oh, he loves his coat of many colors. It's got red, blue, green, and yellow, and orange.
My daughter's watching, and she's like, "It was good up to this point." It was good up to this point.
Nobody
Now
gets
you're
it if they
losing
don't.
ticket sales.
This is what Jason. This is what happens.
You got to know when to fold it.
This is what
It's
happens.
not Kenny. I'm not doing a show about Kenny.
This is what happens on our show.
He
It's
has
just-
a good though. He probably has a good story.
Kenny Rogers. Yeah, that's another good one. The gambler. Oh my god.
If I get the rights, I will break the news here.
All right.
Okay, so
when you get it, we
sounds
want you
good.
back on the show to
But
break the
that's-
rights.
That
It's
is
gotta be it.
okay. Can we talk about that? How do you go if you want if somebody wants to they go and get rights for whatever the topic is? How do you go about doing that?
Well, if it's your material, it's extremely easy. You know?
Okay.
So I wrote it and I copyrighted it, like literally with the United States. You know, where you should copyright everything.
Yeah.
And then there's also writers guilds, directors guilds. You know, so you register it with.
You turn it all in and
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you're using somebody else's, so take Jersey Boys for example. You know, so an individual wrote that, and then the songs are obviously his Frankie Valli's. And
Yeah.
So
would you have to pay them for that then?
yeah, that's where it gets a little tricky because oftentimes the artist doesn't even own the rights. Usually it's a publishing house.
Yeah, right.
It's like Columbia Records or RCA or something like that.
The record
So
company.
you got to track that stuff down first.
Wow.
And there are attorneys that'll do that for you.
Damn.
But then that's where the negotiation comes in.
That sounds
like do you
expensive.
want to partner 50-50 and just split royalties, or do you want a lump sum up front? So that's where it gets a little tricky. So,
Yeah, because
but-
that could be expensive then at
Yeah.
that point, right?
Yeah, but at this point, I'm trying to write it because to try to go to somebody and say like, "Hey, I got an idea for a show using your music,"
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever." If you weren't established,
Right.
like
Right.
like Lin-Manuel, who's like the top dog
Yeah.
right now,
Right.
He could go to anybody and they would probably be like, "Yeah, we'll sign something with you
Right now.
So it benefits you that couples therapy first blows up so that you can go and go into these places and say, listen, I'm the guy who made couples therapy. You've seen it here, 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 and here. And here's my proof that I actually somewhat know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
it doesn't
for
hurt,
sure.
For sure. I mean, it's no Jersey Boys or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But at
it's
least I have a
something's
track record.
Yeah.
That, hey, I've written something, I've produced something,
Hmm.
gonna- little
it's out
resume
there.
builder, right? I mean, what the hell? You
Yeah,
can
it's out
hurt
there on
anything.
the road, but yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So February 10th and 11th. What time?
7:30, I believe, is show.
7:30. They can buy the tickets online.
Yeah, the Youngstown Playhouse.
How much are tickets?
Website.
Do you know?
They use a tiered system now.
Tiered?
So, yeah, like seats in the front are worth more than seats
Oh,
in the back.
okay.
So I want to say it's somewhere between like 25 and maybe 35, depending where you want to sit.
Cool.
So yeah, a little something for everybody.
Absolutely reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, what the for a night out? What the
Yeah,
hell do you want?
absolutely.
So yeah, affordable. Youngstown Playhouse is super nice.
It is. It's really beautiful.
It is. Great.
They were renovating that thing too last time I drove by.
The outside, yeah. The outside, I believe, is done. It looks beautiful. Now they're moving into the inside.
Okay.
So I think this year and next year they have plans. But the inside itself is just beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the one with that's downtown with the like flower on the ceiling. Is that?
No,
You're thinking that's Dior.
Yep.
Youngstown Playhouse is by on the way to Mill Creek Park off of is that what is that off of? Is that no, not Mahoning. That is
I get off Glenwood, I think, is the exit. I get off the Glenwood exit.
Yeah, it's like
make a
heading up
left.
towards Glenwood exit.
Okay.
You know where I'm talking? And you head up like towards the park.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on the left.
Yeah.
I always do it on the way to the mill
Okay,
and
so
to go.
We're all morons. I just punch it in the phone and it takes me there.
Yeah.
Same.
That's
So you get off about like
Yeah.
the Rose Gardens is the way I go. So I'll go down like 680 and then hop up towards.
There's a bit for you. Like like you being someone who's I don't want you to give me your stupid directions. I just want to put it in my GPS and go there. So just stop talking and tell me what the address is.
Yeah. You'll like that. There's a piece in the show.
Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Rose
You're gonna
Garden.
go up here. You're gonna stop at this stop sign. You're gonna see a McDonald's on your right. But no, I don't care.
If you hit the train tracks,
we're
you punch it.
yeah.
Rose Garden.
We're wasting time.
That's
Just tell me what it's called so I can look it up. On my
That's
phone.
totally
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah,
Dad
open your
totally
phone.
does that.
No, the GPS doesn't know. The
Yeah.
GPS doesn't know the fastest way. I know the fastest way.
That's in the show. There's a
Is there?
comment. There's
Yeah.
a comment that 9 out of 10 times the voice in any of the GPSs is female.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So you won't stop and ask for directions, but you'll take them from a female voice coming out of the little
True.
square, a little square box.
All right. So, and then tickets, you can buy them online. Again, from me seeing this last year, anybody watching tonight, watching tomorrow, and everybody will watch as we get closer. I'm telling you guys, this is a good show. You want to check it out. And it's online too. Facebook. You guys have Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, couplestherapyplay.com is the website. You can go there. There's some more clips. We have a YouTube page. There's a Facebook page. But no, it's a great night.
Awesome. Well,
Factual too.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. So, okay. So coming up with us, Isaac, on Thursday, we're
Talk back.
talk back. So we're going to have the MLO Birds talk back. We're going to talk about the Mahoning County Commissioners. We got blocked by the Mahoning County
I
Commissioners.
saw that.
Did you see
Totally
it?
not allowed.
Which they're not allowed to do. And then they unblocked us after I threatened to sue them. How about that? Flexed a little bit. And then we're also, what else are we talking about? Mahoning County Commissioners. Oh, they fired a guy wrongly.
The South Range.
The South
Coaching
Range
situation.
coaching situation. That guy's done, by the way. I found that out. We're going to update on that. Yep. Coach Irons is now coaching.
That's good.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that and how they brought a lawyer. Parents brought a lawyer. We're going to talk about how people are tipping.
Oh, I hate that. I can't
Do
stand
you notice how people are starting to, when you
You can't-
use your credit card and now you got to tip all the time? Have you noticed that?
like everywhere you go.
You mean like we're at pre-fills, like 2%, 5%? 8%?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like Starbucks. You
Starbucks
go in,
drive through.
give them your card, and they hand you the thing and you fill it in. It's like, would you like to tip?
In the drive-through now, they're handing it out the window and asking you for a tip. So some would say you should tip all the time, but I feel like at this point it's like you're just getting guilted into tipping, and it drives me crazy.
So it's driving Isaac. So we're gonna talk about that
hate
on
that.
Thursday. So we're gonna have a
Hate
little talk back. We're gonna probably alienate some people on Thursday as we talk about the commissioners and politics and tipping and all that. So that's what we do. So that'll be kicking off our 2023 MLO Bros talk back on Thursday. So
There you go. You guys could host a comedy night at the Federal. That's where the funny farm is.
the federal.
in the basement, in the basement or upstairs.
I believe it's in the upstairs.
Yeah, second floor.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get Martini on the show. He ignores us.
Mark actually tagged him.
Martini watches our show all the time, but he refuses to come on.
Owner of Federal.
Owner of the Federal.
Okay.
We're going to get you Martini. So
well, I know Dave, the only of the funny farm. So if you guys ever want to go up on stage,
I don't think I'm ready for that. Are
No,
you ready for
yeah,
that?
no.
I need to work on my.
I heard there's nothing worse than eating shit on stage as like a stand-up guy.
it's rough.
Did you ever get like
It's rough.
harassed or booed or anything?
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
That's why.
you like all the time.
Yeah.
They say all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Joe Rogan podcast. They always talk about that. Like bombing on stage is like the absolute worst possible thing that
I don't think I could. I don't think
that's
I
why
could
you
do
got to
it.
give stand-up comedians credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got so other than the hosts, like you were talking earlier. So the typical format is you'll find a club like I did.
Yeah.
I was lucky. Dave took to me right away.
Okay.
Who owns the Funny Farm, and he invited me back. Even though I was awful. He's like, hey, do you want to come back? Because clubs always need hosts.
So first time up, you got crushed.
Yeah.
Crushed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you just you're not good. You're starting out.
Wow.
You just get exposed.
Yeah.
But you just love it.
Yeah.
So you keep coming back, and you get a little better and a little better. But once you get, so the feature act, which is usually the one that does like 25, 30 minutes, and then you got the headliner who usually has to do like an hour.
Wow.
Like you sign contracts.
Yeah. You're doing an hour.
If you leave, not only are you not getting your money, but technically they could sue you.
Yeah.
So you go to some you go to some places and they just don't like you. It isn't always that your material's not good. It's just not. It's just not working with this crowd.
Yeah.
You've got to stay there for the 45, 60, whatever your contract says.
Yeah.
So
You're just grinding it out.
And you might go to a crowd that's meaner than like you go to Boston. Boston's like notorious for tackling the shit out of you, and it's just different types of people. And
I couldn't imagine.
Oh, dude, that would suck so bad. And that's why they say, like, if you made it as a stand-up comedian, you have gone through and you have seen so much and been booed off of stage. Like, you are obviously a strong-willed human being.
So if when you got booed off stage, were you just like, fuck this, like I'm done? Like,
no, because the good nights. So it could happen the same night.
Yeah. So
you'll do an 8 o'clock show and you'll kill.
Yeah.
And like the half hour breeze by like it was 5 minutes, and then the 10 o'clock show for whatever reason. And that's where like you'll see comics actually say like, an hour ago this joke killed.
Yeah.
Because it did.
Yeah.
But now you're just not taking it. So
wow.
So the good.
Yeah. And then you'll have situations where, like he says, the lineup, right? So a lot of comics will get mad about the lineup because at the 8 o'clock, the guy who went before you might have sucked ass. And then you came on stage and you did good because that guy sucked. Well, then at the 10 o'clock, the guy before you might do good. And then you come on stage. It doesn't matter if you do good. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. They'll be like, this guy before you was so good. He was so much better than you, and like boo you off stage because you're like cooling him off now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why most, so like any decent headliner, I would say brings their own feature act.
Yeah.
Because you want somebody that is good, but not too good.
Yeah, to make you look like shit. Yeah.
And you want the energy levels to jive. So I was always a very energetic, like paced pretty quickly both sides of the stage.
Right.
Versus somebody who's just going to stand there with the mic and be like, here's my jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't work well with them because the audience is going to go up on a high with me and then you're going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
Right.
So good promoters will try to pair comics that work well with each other.
Yeah.
But as a headliner, you don't want to run that risk that the person in front of you is funnier than you.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's true.
In the Joe Rogan podcast, they have him and a bunch of comedians like sit around and they call it Protect Our Parks podcast.
Yeah.
And they don't actually do any protecting of parks, but it's just comedians telling their stories and they all sit around. They talk about that stuff all the time.
That's
and
so
how they have been the opener and sucked and they've been like fired because they sucked so bad, or they've opened for people and been too funny and been told like, listen,
That's
how am I supposed to go on?
I don't know if I could take that. I don't know if I could take getting booed like that.
No, it's tough business.
They said it's
I don't know if I could.
Jay Leno has a great book of when he was just hardcore touring. And this was back in the 70s. And he played a lot of places that had chicken wire. So he talks about the bottles getting thrown at him.
Yeah.
And they would hit the chicken wire and shatter. And as he's doing his jokes, he would have pelts of glass hitting him. And he had to keep going because he had to do 15, 20 minutes.
I don't know. Wow. That's
So,
nuts. We should go down there sometime and boo people.
Yeah, it's rough.
we would suck out too, but we'd be really good at heckling people.
Yeah. No, it's tough. Man.
Wow.
It's
Well,
tough.
again, one more time. It is February 10th and 11th, 7:30. You can buy the tickets, youngstownplayhouse.org. Buy them now. And thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate you coming. Good luck. And
thank you
we
guys.
want you to drop the announcement when you're ready,
I will.
when you get that set up. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you guys on Thursday. And don't forget, Isaac, we're loan officers. Tell them.
MLOBRO stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. If you need a home loan, please call us. We'll take care of you. So we'll see you on Thursday, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.